Welcome to MLB Prop Picks, show powered by the Bat on Covers. Thanks for joining us here every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, 9:30. Good day to you, Derek. How does the board look? I know the answer to that, but it's always nice to hear when you say it's a loaded board.
Yeah, I think today's board actually looks pretty good. Last week there were a couple days where it was like, but today there's quite a bit to pick from.
Absolutely. Let's go. Appreciate there, everybody. Good morning to you guys in the chat. Evan, it is Cardio Clock. Absolutely. Let's go. Hit that like button, and let's get to some releases. If you're looking for these numbers, head over to the Covers homepage, go to prop projections, and then filter through by the game, by the prop markets, find it, and find that analysis over on the right. All numbers powered by the Bat. Trustworthy numbers. Let's go. This is the release procedure. If you're new to the show, we'll tell you what book we're betting it at, some secondary books if we have them, tell you the game, the market, and then the player. Hopefully giving you guys some time. Today looks like we're at FanDuel 365, Caesars, and then back at 365. We also released Alec Marsh. His under, we're seeing some numbers change. You still like that at 4.5? You're preferring the 4.5 right now, Derek.
Yeah, if you could get it at the minus 140 number that we got earlier, that's great. But it looks like most books now are like minus 180, minus 200, minus 210. And there's a couple books that are down at 4.5 already. So I would either take the 4.5 at plus 120, or I'd wait for a couple more books to flip and see if you get like a plus 130 or plus 135 from somewhere else.
All right, so there we go. That's what we released. Probably some more releases coming, so follow Covers on X for some more social releases. Let's get right to it, starting off at FanDuel. Secondary book includes Betway, Hard Rock, DK. Game in question, Mets at Guardians. Prop market, pitcher strikeouts.
We lost 2 points, but that's still fine.
The FanDuel odds are so unique compared to other markets, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's drop it. Release 1. Adrian Houser, under 2.5 strikeouts, plus 132. Houser, under 2.5 strikeouts, plus 132. Hauser's just not a guy who strikes out a lot, but he's also a guy that was moved to the bullpen. 41 pitches, 32 total pitches in his last games. I believe he's still pitching on like full 5 days rest, but this is a guy that's kind of like a number 6, number 7 right now.
Yeah, exactly. He's not like a full-time rotation member, like you said, hasn't made an actual start in close to 3 weeks now. The Bat, based on that and based on what he's thrown in the bullpen, it's not expecting him to be able to, throw like a full game here. I think it's projecting like 70, 75 pitches with a max around 85 if everything breaks his way. Plus, he's a low K pitcher against a low K offense. So let's talk about the 3.5s. Most books are at 3.5. The Bat's projecting 2, basically right on the nose. So it's kind of a toss-up between this and the 3.5s. If you have a 3.5, I think the best lines are like minus 165, minus 170. I'm totally fine with those. Even the minus 180, the minus 190, the minus 200 on the 3.5s, they're all still showing good value. You might want to wait until some of those books flip to the 2.5s at plus money like this. But if you just want to take the 3.5 at minus 200, like go right ahead. You're getting a strikeout and a half under the line with capped ceiling based on the pitch count. This one projects really, really well today.
All right, so got that in. We'll take the 2.5 for the record at plus 132. Jumping over to the next one, we're at Bet365. Secondary books include DK, Bet Rivers, Hard Rock. Game in question, Seattle at Yankees. Pitcher strikeouts. Nick Newport Jr. doing the heavy lifting, letting us know where those numbers are moving. Dun, 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 dun. Our numbers there. Let's get it for release number 2. New York starting pitcher Clark Schmidt under 6.5 Ks plus 110. Schmidt under 6.5 strikeouts plus 110. Seattle obviously strikes out a lot, but we can assume that that's priced in. Anytime you think you're getting some value just because of the matchup, it's probably the first thing that's priced in. But he's also coming off a season high 103 pitches, which is big, and I know that's something you really account for, especially when his usual pitch count is in the 90 to 95 range. So there could be a scale back situation here.
Yeah, there's definitely a chance that after he threw so many last time, they kind of ease back a little in this start. And, they pull him at 80 or 85. I think the bat's projecting more like 90, 92, something like that. But that is possible that he gets a shorter leash than usual just to kind of keep him healthy. Schmidt's a guy that the bat is usually low on. It doesn't love him that much. His stuff plus has improved this year. You look at his FanGraphs page, though, the bat is, one of the higher systems in terms of his strikeouts. It's not like it hates this guy. And you mentioned the Seattle strikeout rate. They're leading the majors in strikeout rate this year, but the bat doesn't believe they're actually the most strikeout heavy team. It has them projected today, their lineup, as more like the 5th most strikeout heavy, 6th most strikeout heavy. So I'd have to dig in and see exactly why. I haven't had a chance this morning, but I imagine there's a couple guys in that lineup that are just striking out way more than we'd expect them to. We're expecting them to regress. And so that strikeout matchup is actually probably priced too heavily into this. So between just the way the market's been moving, Pinnacle was, I think, minus 130 when I looked. I think this one looks pretty good.
So maybe buy point around even money then, and then maybe kind of look elsewhere once it hits. We're seeing minus 105 at DK.
Yeah, I think that's about where I would be out. I'd take it at even money. Once it hits minus 105, minus 110, I'll probably skip it.
All right, 2 in the books. Let's keep going. Number 3, we are at Caesars. Secondary books include Betway, Bet Rivers here. Game in question, Baltimore at St. Louis. Market, pitcher strikeouts. Minus 104, still there. Fantastic. Let's go. Let's get on and over here. Lance Lynn, over 4.5 strikeouts, minus 104. Lance Lynn, over 4.5 strikeouts, minus 104. Still a K per inning guy, right? At home. I don't know how much you value home splits, but I think there is something to pitchers pitching on their own mound, right?
Oh, yeah. There's definitely a home field advantage that exists. You should expect guys to pitch better at home.
But it is interesting someone like this who's a finicky, a guy who's just eat innings his entire life at home on his mound where he struck out 24 in 19 plus innings. So his K per 9 is actually up at home than it is on the road. Obviously a tough matchup, but this is a guy that, high rain out risk in St. Louis. There's a point.
That I will admit to missing. I did not think to check the weather on that one, which makes me like this less. If you haven't bet it yet, maybe don't. But if the game plays, I do think this one shows some good value. The market has been moving this way. Pinnacle's minus 135, I think. I like this less than I did a minute ago.
I'm seeing big winds blowing out at Busch Stadium, but I see 0% chance of precipitation on the covers.
So I'm looking at Kevin Roth's report. It says storms here look problematic. He thinks the most likely is that they just call it early and PPD it, which then this would just void. But he does say there is a chance of storms arriving in game if they decide they want to try to play it. And then that happens. That wouldn't be ideal for this bet.
Yeah, I don't know what the schedule is tomorrow. I don't know if the series goes tomorrow, but like you said, the postpone to the doubleheader tomorrow is possible if they have the time to play that in. Massive storm schedules to go through between 6 and 8. So appreciate everybody there in the chat.
Yeah, thanks for the heads up. Sorry I missed that, guys. It's normally I'm on top of this stuff, but Even guys like me miss stuff sometimes.
Good. What about the weather concerns move you off this play? Just that it rains and he stops pitching, and then
if he pitches 2 innings and it rains and they have a delay and he doesn't come back out, it's a loser.
100%. And that's why, that's usually the other outs for our unders, right? You know what I mean? When we're heavy on the unders, you don't worry about it when you're playing the unders. So appreciate the heads up. It's in the account, right? We're going to put that on the record there.
We'll count it if the game plays. But just know, had I seen that, I wouldn't have included it today.
Okay, that's appreciate the transparency there, and thanks for the heads up, everybody there in the chat, especially when we're not playing a lot of overs. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh,
yeah. No, usually the rain is like, oh, if there's rain, great. We're playing unders anyway, and it's just going to add value. Did not think to check it for the over, which I really need to do.
Okay, no, appreciate the transparency. Thank you to the chat. Let's keep going. We still got 2 more. We are going. Sticking at Caesars. Secondary books include Betway and Bet Rivers. Oh, sorry. Caesars. Secondary books 365 and DraftKings. Those are your best 2 choices. They were San Francisco at Pittsburgh. Head over to Pitcher Props. Find your way to walks allowed. Pitcher walks allowed. Number is still there. Let's get this one in. Release 4. San Francisco starting pitcher Logan Webb. Under 1.5 walks plus 133. That is a gigantic number. He's been like you can see him at minus 115. I don't know where this number ballooned to. I do know, because if you look at his game logs, he's got 10 walks over his last 4 games. But if you look at his actual track record, I think he had 216 innings last year and just 31 walks. I think that's more relatable than a small sample size over 4 starts.
That's kind of where I'm coming from with this one too. This season, this would have only been a winner 4 times, and I think he went over it 6 or 7. But you don't want to buy into the small sample size stuff. You really don't want to buy into the game log stuff too much. Webb is a great pitcher. He's not really much of a, he's kind of the same guy he's always been. He's always been a better pitcher in terms of his walks than he's been this year. So we have to expect some regression, and we're getting it at good plus money. So the bat's projecting here, I think 1 point, what's the number here? 1.36. So, a 55, 60% chance winner here at plus 133 is pretty nice. The Pirates can be a patient team, can draw walks for sure. But this one, we're kind of just depending on Webb regression and good odds.
Yeah, it hasn't been a fun ride recently, Milo says, but lots of his other stuff has projected well, like his under 1.5 earned runs.
Yeah, I've hit that a couple times.
Yeah. I hit George Kirby under 0.5 walks. That was not it was a winner, but you can't watch the game. That's
it's just brutal to try to watch that.
Yeah, no, you just check in at the end. I think he went 7-2. All right, I always got to read them before I read them out loud. I get in trouble if I just start reading things in the chat before I proofread them. But there's Curtis Victor saying, what is your take on pitcher outs market? Getting killed on that market. Coincidentally, the earned run under market has been very profitable.
Yeah, the outs market is one. I don't have a good answer for that. I want to look into it more. It hasn't been super profitable for me either. I've been kind of staying away from it just until I understand a little more what's going on. I don't have a good answer. I'm sorry.
Here's my crappy answer on it, because I ride it. That's one of my favorite markets, and looking at it, when you are a crappy pitcher or when batters can see you easily, they swing much earlier in counts, right? Just because you pitch bad doesn't mean it doesn't actually correlate sometimes. You can get 6, you get a 6-pitch inning. Yeah, it goes a long way in the under 17.5.
Yeah, it really does. It's basically a free inning you get, it's.
Yeah. And you're done. 6, it's so easy to sink the under quickly then, as opposed to the over, because you can get a 20-pitch inning and then things cruise and settle down. But it's a tough inning to cruise by live with pitch counts.
Yeah. And if you're looking at the bat projections, like it's mostly suggesting unders for outs. And like I've looked into it a little bit so far, and I can't find anything wrong. Like I'm looking at like, okay, how many outs is the bat projecting on average compared to like what the guys are actually doing? And it's like right in line with what's happening. It's not like it's under projecting, outs by a lot or anything like that. It's just I don't have a great explanation right now.
Brandon Pfaadt cannot keep going at the efficiency that he is. It's absolutely it's insane. Like 80 pitches, 21 outs. You're like, oh my goodness.
And the bat even projects like individual, like, okay, so Brandon Pfaadt is a guy who's efficient. He doesn't walk people, doesn't waste a lot of pitches. Like, his pitches per strikeout, his pitches per walk, his pitches per ball in play are all going to project lower than the normal starters. And that is in the projection. It's just like he can't possibly be, doing what he's doing.
This is my last ride on him today versus the Dodgers under 17.5 at plus money.
I mean,
it sounds like a great play.
Completing 6 innings against the Dodgers at plus money. Like, yeah, theoretically that should be a fantastic play. But yeah, the market scares me a little. So it's just,
there's the answer. All right. Logan Webb under 1.5 walks plus 133 at Caesars. Seeing that number pretty much plus 125, plus 120, plus 130 available. And then last release today, let's go to 365, finish things off here. Let's get away from pitchers. We'll go White Sox at Blue Jays. And we'll go player hits. And it's not Manuel Margot, who I don't know how he's hitting.
I lost him last night again.
I don't know how he's hitting under 200. Every time I see him, he's like, 3 from 4.
I lose every bet I place on him. And I'm like, how is this guy possibly hitting 176 when I lose every bet?
No, same. I don't understand it. I've never seen him not go 1 for 4 at least.
And it's always at the end of the game. Yesterday, it's like the 8th inning, and it's like 0-2 count, and he gets a little slap hit single.
I don't want to talk about Kyle Farmer on Saturday in an 11-0 game. It was the exact same thing as Margot the week before. It was just an awful loss at plus 155. All right, let's look at this one. Gloom and doom. We're really making this a gloom and doom hits market here. Let's go. Hitter hits. Danny Mendick under 0.5 hits plus 150 here at 365. Let us know if you're seeing it somewhere else. Obviously, the best price here. 365 does have the best prices for these markets. What did you like about Mendick? Obviously, I believe he hit the chat the other day when they were talking about the moves that the White Sox were making, and that there's
someone from chat tweeted at us about it. I'm trying to remember who it was.
They brought up 2 guys. They're like, these will be 2 guys we will be targeting soon.
Yep, and you were right because Mendick is a guy that gets pinch hit for. Should be, I think, around a 50% rate when I looked this morning. And he's not that good of a hitter. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. Like Mendick, we're not expecting him to stay in the game long. As soon as a righty comes out of the bullpen, that's probably it for him. And he's probably going to be buried at the bottom of the lineup.
Awesome. And then the projection, I mean, I think Kikuchi's big plus money under 17.5 outs too.
Yeah, he is.
I still think, the White Sox aren't, they're statistically one of the worst offenses in baseball, but I still think they're kind of being overvalued as like a high strikeout team. They've kind of changed their K percentage slightly from the beginning of the year of like one of the highest to kind of reasonable, no?
Yeah, no, they're not a super high strikeout team by any means.
Yeah, so I think the perception on them is they're awful. They kind of are, but there might be some value on the other side. So do like that. Hit smash the like button from producer Mick. Appreciate it. We're seeing that line go down pretty much across the board. But everything we got here, we got 5 in. The Lynn play, we go Adrian Houser under 2.5 strikeouts plus 132. He's coming out of the bullpen. Clark Schmidt under 6.5 Ks plus 110. And then the asterisks on Lynn, we're on hit on the over 4.5 Ks, but there is a rain warning. Warns some storms out there. So something to tread lightly in. Wouldn't put it in the account just yet. Logan Webb under 1.5 walks plus money. And then finally, Danny Mendick under 0.5 hits at plus 150. That's what we're doing here today. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Back here tomorrow at 9:30, same time. More plays. Don't forget to stick around for the NBA Prop Picks powered by EV Analytics coming up at 10:30 with John Adams. So stick around if you're looking for some more releases on the hardwood. That's what we're doing on the diamond today. I'm Josh Ingles. He's Derek Carty. This is MLB Player Props powered by the Bat. Let's leave it at that. Did I say something wrong, or are you reading something? I hate when you smile like that, and I'm like, did I say something wrong?
Oh, no, you got it. You got it.
Oh, well done. All right. Sometimes it just goes. All right. Appreciate everybody there in chat. We'll see you tomorrow.